Daniel Nersessian. Welcome to WNT. As always, I'm your chief analyst, along with
Will Gill,
Jordan Roberts,
Landyn Heimerl,
and Vivian Washington.
We have a lot of news today to cover, so first let's start it off to Vivian.
Thanks, Daniel. This week in clubs, Spanish Club had their first meeting. If you'd like to learn more about the language or the culture, talk to Kim Rieselbach or Miss Damon. They meet during 9:40 on Wednesday in Frame Lounge. Back to you, Daniel.
Gracias, Vivian. I have to check out some Spanish myself. Now let's send it over to Landyn about fine arts.
Thanks, Daniel. On Saturday, a group of students, including myself, Will Gill, and David Blindauer, played with some alumni and also Mr. Mientas. We played with Christian Board and also Jim Downey, who is the chair of the alumni board. We played Led Zeppelin, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and also a little bit of Johnny Cash. It was a great time. Additionally, Almost Famous performed at Old Hickory for the alumni reunions. Back to you, Daniel.
Thanks, Landyn. Now let's send it over to our all-star running back, Mr. Jordan Roberts.
Thanks, Daniel. On Monday, girls field hockey tied DHHA 1-1 with a goal by DeVries, assisted from Cailin McCreedy. On Tuesday, boys won their regional final against Richland Center 3-2 with 2 goals by Tillman Hishka and 1 goal by Sinue Espinosa. Girls volleyball unfortunately lost to Kenosha Christian 3-0. Let's go out to Kennedy Simmons with some input on that game.
Oh, hey, Jordan, I didn't see you there. I'm here at the volleyball game, and it's senior night tonight, and we're going to go meet with a couple of fans. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Gansky. How's the game going?
It's going really good. The seniors are playing really hard.
Yeah, it's their last night here at Wayland Academy. Hopefully put a solid effort into it, maybe pull out a victory.
And this is Kennedy Simmons. I'm signing off. Back to you, Jordan.
Thanks, Kennedy. Looks like girls volleyball did a good job out there. On Thursday, boys soccer lost their regional championship game against CWC 6-1 with a goal by Sinue Espinosa. On Friday, girls field hockey won their second game in a row against Arrowhead, beating them 1-0 with a goal by Cailin McCreedy. On Saturday, boys ended the week off well with a win against Oneida Nation, 40-34. That's all I have for sports this week. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Jordan. Looks like we had a pretty good week in sports. Now let's lastly send it over to Will to information about news.
Thanks, Daniel. First up in the news today, we have an interesting announcement. The new German students are here. Every year, there's an exchange program with the CJD school located in Elza. It's a small town near Hanover, which is where they all come from. There's Dennis, Bobby, Nico, Leon, Yvonne, Kira, Emma, and Anna. If you see them around campus, do your best to welcome them. Next up, we have an interview with a very interesting person. He played organ for us on Friday, and he led one of the most interesting lives that I have ever had a chance to discuss with someone. Let's go out to that.
Mr. McDonald, I'd like to ask you, what was Wayland like when you were here, and where did it take you in your life?
It was considerably less luxurious for the students. I went over to Wayland Hall for the first time since I left and was amazed at the living accommodations. And actually in my old room, I happened to meet the person who's there now who commented that the biggest problem with the room was when he goes off to college next year, he'll definitely be living someplace that's not as nice. So I was very amazed. I'm amazed at how beautiful this library is here, how well set up it is, and I just am really happy for your classes to have this as an environment to learn in. In terms of what I learned here, it was to be intellectually curious and try to learn something new every day, and I actually learned some skills that stood me in good stead later on in life in terms of English ability to proofread and write coherent sentences and look at other people's work and copy edit what they do. And just really a well-rounded education, I think, was probably the biggest thing I took away from Wayland.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us. It was great to have an opportunity to sit down.
It's a pleasure to be back at Wayland. Nice to meet you, Will.
Good to know. Back to you at the studio.
What an enriching experience to be able to speak with such a successful alumni. Also, on the same day that I got the opportunity to talk to him, the Patterson House dedication happened. There was a service in the chapel talking about the life and times of Ray Patterson, the former president of Wayland, and I had the opportunity to speak with his 3 sons, who re-entered their house in the first time in 10 years. Let's go out to that. I'm Will Gill with WNT, and I'm here with Steve, Pete, and Pat Patterson. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time you've been back in this house for how long now?
Oh, for me, for 40 years.
Wow.
For me, 10. Yeah, about 10. Yeah.
10 years. So tell me a little bit about what it feels like to be back here for the first time in a while.
It brings back a lot of memories. This was my father's study. I remember the desk over there. Back in this closet underneath the stairs was a really good place to hide Christmas presents. You could never get back in there.
See you again.
All right.
Yeah, well, awesome. Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, sure.
Good to meet you guys.
Good deal. Have a great day.
What an emotional experience that must have been. In case you didn't know, the late Ray Patterson did many good things for Wayland. He bought what we now know as South Campus, and after serving as a very successful coach, he served a tenure as president. That's all we've got for news this week. Let's go back to you, Daniel.
Well, that's all we got for this week. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. This is WNT, signing off.
Ich hab keinen Geld vor der Tür, kein Cent für ein Bier, doch ich spür, irgendwann wird es anders. Wenn es nicht funktioniert, hab ich keinen Grund zur Sorge.